Today's video, we're going to be seeing a gigantic sea serpent that's said to be an omen for earthquake.
My God, look at the size of the thing.
As well as a headless sea creature and a gigantic red blob of jelly. But first, let's meet one deep sea dweller that looks like it came from the myths rather than being part of reality. Number 9. Giant squid. You wouldn't normally see these gigantic sea creatures near the surface, as they're usually found deep within the ocean, so imagine the surprise of the people when a giant squid was found washed up on a beach near Wellington, New Zealand in 2018. The humongous cephalopod was found by brothers Daniel, Jack, and Matthew Applin. They were just trying to find the perfect diving spot in the coastlines near Red Rocks when they came upon this monstrosity. The brothers contacted the National Institute of Water and Atmospheric Research to have the squid removed. This squid was a very good size at 4.2 meters or 13 feet long. This gigantic creature really was a sight to see, especially on the beach, since they prefer to spend their time in the deep ocean. It's honestly kind of unknown how this thing ended up on the shore. Granted, if you think that one was already big, then you would be surprised to learn that there was another one even bigger than that. And this wasn't the first time that one of these deep-sea dwellers washed up on the shores of New Zealand. Back in 2015, a 7-meter or 23-foot giant appeared on a beach in Kaikoura, and that's what you call huge. Number 8. Fanged sea monster. With sharp fangs and an eyeless head, this long creature looks like it came out from someone's nightmare. Just after Hurricane Harvey in 2017, Preeti Desai from Texas City posted the pictures on Twitter. The caption was pretty apt in, "Okay, biology Twitter, what the heck is this?" According to biologist and eel specialist Dr. Kenneth Tiggy, this grotesque-looking sea creature was most likely a fang-toothed snake eel. However, the sea beast might also be a garden or conger eel, as all three of these species occur off Texas and have large fang-like teeth, the biologist added. Usually, fang-toothed snake eels are also known as tusky eels, and they're generally found in the depths of the western Atlantic Ocean at 30 to 90 meters deep. However, due to the intensity of the hurricane, it's quite possible that the strong winds and flooding may have been the cause for the beaching of this sea dweller. Number 7. Giant sunfish. A rare giant sunfish had washed up on the shores of the mouth of Murray River in South Australia. This absolutely massive fish was spotted by a couple of fishers on the beach. Lynette Grislek had posted a picture of it online and said that her partner was out with his work crew when they saw it. At first, they thought it was a piece of shipwreck, but upon closer inspection, turned out to be the massive sunfish. The ocean sunfish, or also known as the mola mola, is said to be a rare find in that location. However, this wasn't the rarest location the fish has been found in. In the same month, the one in Australia was found, another enormous sunfish had washed up on a beach in Cali. This was said to be the first time in 130 years, and that's what I call rare. Sunfish generally can be found basking under the sun to warm up before diving hundreds of meters down the ocean, hence the name sunfish. And these creatures are normally found in the tropical waters of the southern hemisphere, so finding one in California of all places was sure to be a surprise. Number 6. Giant oarfish. Another deep-sea dweller had been discovered on a Mexican beach near La Paz in Baja California. Measuring at about 20 feet, this deep-sea oarfish wasn't the first of its kind to be washed up on shore. Rarely found in the surface waters, these serpent-like sea creatures are normally found in tropical and temperate waters. They're also found at depths of 600 to more than 3,000 feet. Encounters with oarfish are so rare that the times people have seen them at the surface are either dead or dying. The oarfish has earned a reputation of being called the earthquake fish, though. Back in 2011, when Japan had experienced a catastrophic earthquake, an unsettling number of oarfish had appeared on the beaches from December 2009 to March 2010. This led to people spreading rumors and believing that the said creature was a bad omen and would show up right before large earthquakes. A similar event also happened in the Philippines when on the 8th of August 2017, a day before a magnitude 6.6 earthquake hit the northern part of the country, two of the serpent-like oarfish were found on the beach. Reports say that one was 12 feet long while the other was 14. Number 5. Mysterious sea creature in Wales. Last February 2021, the corpse of a mysterious sea creature washed up on Broadhaven South Beach in Pembrokeshire, Wales. Stretching at more than 23 feet, the remains couldn't be used to firmly identify as to just what kind of sea creature it could possibly be, as it was already decomposing by the time it was discovered. However, samples from said beast were sent for testing to discover its true identity. Pictures of the unknown creature were released by the Marine Environmental Monitoring, and it showed a decomposing headless carcass. In one of the pictures provided, they noticed a roll of something on its stomach. However, when they personally went to the dead beast's body, they soon realized that the large roll turned out to be the creature's vertebrae. Initially, it was assumed that the remains were that of a whale, but it was soon ruled out once experts arrived. According to the Marine Environmental Monitoring Station, the creature seemed to be some form of large fish rather than a whale. The person who had reported the beast said that it might have been a basking shark. However, the remains were so badly decomposed that without any further testing, the creature would forever remain unidentified. Number 4. The GLOBSTER. Found on the shores of a beach that is the province of Oriental Mindoro, Philippines in 2018, this enormous sea creature really is a sight that would make you go, the heck? Covered in white hairy fibers and about the size of a truck, this unknown beast has baffled a lot of people. With the size being 20 feet or 6 meters, this creature is quite the sight to see. Without being officially identified, people have been calling the remains of the hairy sea beast as GLOBSTER. Although not confirmed, Fisher Law Enforcement Officer Vox Cruseda said that it's likely the remains of a whale. However, further testing is needed to exactly determine what species it is. In order to test it, Cruseda had to gather tissue samples and unfortunately had to inhale the horrible stench of said creature. Just like any other remains, especially rotting ones, the smell was so awful that Cruseda almost puked. This wasn't the first that a mysterious creature washed ashore in the Philippines, though. Back in February of 2017, a similar-looking specimen had washed ashore in the Dingat Islands. Measuring at the same size at 20 feet, this creature was later revealed to be the dead carcass of a whale. Number 3. Whale filled with trash. December 2019, a sperm whale weighing at 22 tons had become stuck in a sandbank on a remote beach on the Scottish Isle of Harris. Now, whales being washed ashore isn't really what's uncommon of a story. However, with this particular whale, what sets it apart from the others is that it contained more than 220 pounds of ocean trash in its stomach. Yeah, you heard right, 220 pounds of ocean garbage. That's a lot more than what's been reported so far, with the last one being at 88 pounds of ingested garbage. The story was first released as a juvenile sperm whale stranded and then later on dying. However, when experts performed a necropsy on it a few days later, that's when they discovered the horrible contents of its stomach. It had pounds and pounds of trash that included parts of nets, bundles of rope, plastic cups, bags, packing straps, and tubing. According to the Scotland Marine Animal Stranding Scheme, or SMAS, the trash was likely a huge ball in its stomach, with some of it looking like it had been in there for quite a while already. Number 2. Giant red blob. On the shores of Peaks Island, Maine, a family encountered a massive red blob of jelly. Wanting to see how big it was, the mother, Danielle Ivers, placed her 3 children next to it, and to their surprise, it was much bigger than the 3 of them combined. The massive jelly mound measured at a whopping 5 feet, which is something that researchers say would have been all but impossible in the state until just a few years ago. According to biologist Nick Record of Bigelow Labs, these creatures are commonly known as the lion's mane jellyfish, and they're normally only a bit larger than a dinner plate in the last few years. However, these red jellies have been getting bigger and bigger. With how it originally measured, it sure does come off as a surprise to learn how massive these jellyfish can get now. Number 1. Indonesian sea beast. Okay, imagine you're on an island, living your daily life, when you suddenly see the remains of a gigantic sea beast that wash up on the beach. Well, that's exactly what happened to the people on the island of Seram, Indonesia. 37-year-old fisherman Azrul Tuanakota was the first to have discovered the body. Initially, he mistook it for a boat in shallow water, but once he got closer, it turned out to be the rotting corpse of a 50-foot-long dead sea creature. But that was a pretty big surprise for him. Not only that, this mysterious creature had lost so much blood that it dyed the water near the coastline a bright red. You would think that with such a sight, it would have stopped the people from going into the water. That just wasn't the case for the locals of Seram. Despite the bloody liquid, they waded into the water just to take a closer look and even took pictures. Now, you might be asking, what in the world is that large beast? Well, according to experts, they say that it's probably the remains of a baleen whale in an advanced state of decomposition. However, when massive whales die, they sink to the bottom of the ocean, which brings us to another question. How in the world did it end up here? Well, no one knows for sure. Thanks for watching, everybody.